The bar smelled of coffee, beer, and rain-soaked leather. Outside, thunder rolled over the small town, shaking the neon sign that flickered open. Inside, a young waitress named Emily Carter wiped down tables with trembling hands, trying to fight the weight of exhaustion and loneliness pressing down on her chest. She'd been working double shifts ever since her father's accident, trying to pay off the medical bills that had swallowed every dream she once had. That night, the bar was louder than usual. The sound of heavy boots and laughter echoed against the wooden walls. A group of bikers had rolled in, black jackets, roaring presents, and tattoos that told stories of roads and scars. Locals called them Hell's Angels, but Emily had learned over time that most of them were kinder than the so-called respectable men who threw money around and treated people like dirt. Still, she kept her head down, polite but distant. The world hadn't been kind lately, and trust wasn't something she gave away easily. If you believe kindness and second chances still exist in this world, please like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe. It helps us keep bringing stories that remind people what real courage and compassion look like. The clock struck 9:42 p.m. when a new face entered the bar. He was tall, loud, and dripping with arrogance. Tattoos snaked across his arms, but unlike the bikers, his didn't tell stories of brotherhood, only ego. He wore a smirk that made Emily uneasy from the first glance, the kind of man who thought a waitress existed for his entertainment. He whistled sharply to get her attention and slapped a $20 bill on the counter. "Hey, sweetheart," he said, "how about a smile with my drink?" Emily forced a polite grin, poured him a beer, and turned to walk away. But he wasn't done. "Hey, I'm talking to you," he barked. The bar fell quieter, eyes turning toward him. Emily froze, her back stiff. "I'm sorry, sir, I've got other tables." He cut her off, leaning closer. "Other tables can wait. You should be thanking me for coming in. I'm probably the best tip you'll get tonight." A few chuckles rippled from a corner, but they weren't from the bikers. They were from two of his drunk friends who'd just entered. Emily swallowed hard, her throat tight. She'd dealt with rude customers before, but something about this one felt different, dangerous. The man leaned back, arms spread wide, eyes glinting with mockery. "Come on, sweetheart, lighten up. You act like you're scared." Emily said nothing. Fear had a way of gluing your words in your throat. She just turned, trying to escape to the kitchen. That's when he said it, the line that sent a chill through everyone. "Let's see who can save you now," he shouted, slamming his beer on the counter. The whole bar went still. His friends laughed nervously, realizing too late that the air had shifted. The sound of boots scraping against the wooden floor filled the silence. From the far end of the bar, a massive figure stood up. His vest bore the familiar red and white patch, Hell's Angels. The man's name was Bear, and though he rarely spoke, his presence carried the weight of thunder. He took a slow step forward, the kind that said trouble just found its end. Every eye turned as his shadow stretched across the floor. The arrogant stranger's grin faltered. "Problem here?" Bear's voice was calm, too calm, the kind that carried more danger than shouting ever could. The man snorted. "Just talking to the waitress. Didn't know she needed bodyguards." Bear didn't reply. His stare alone could have frozen a wildfire. Behind him, a few other bikers, men twice as quiet and twice as serious, rose to their feet. The air turned heavy. Emily felt her chest tighten, half from fear, half from disbelief. These men, who the town whispered about as dangerous, were the only ones standing up for her. Bear leaned closer, his eyes never leaving the stranger. "Around here, we don't talk to women like that," he said. "You finish your drink, you pay your tab, and you leave. Now." The stranger laughed, trying to save face. "What, you think you scare me, old man?" A dangerous grin curled at the corner of Bear's mouth. "No," he said, "but I can promise you'll regret finding out." Before the man could respond, the rest of the bikers shifted closer, silent, unified, unblinking. It wasn't a brawl, it was a warning written in steel and loyalty. The stranger's bravado cracked. He shoved his beer away, muttering curses under his breath, and stalked toward the door. His friends followed, tripping over chairs in their rush to leave. The door slammed behind them, and just like that, the storm passed. Emily stood frozen, tears burning behind her eyes. She didn't know whether to cry, thank them, or just collapse from the emotional weight. Bear turned to her, his expression softening. "You okay, miss?" he asked quietly. She nodded weakly, whispering, "Thank you." Bear just shrugged. "Don't thank me. You didn't deserve that. Nobody does." He placed a folded $100 bill on the counter. "For your trouble," he said before walking back to his seat. For the rest of the night, the bikers stayed longer than usual. Not loud, not wild, just present. A few made small talk with Emily, asking if she was all right, telling her she did a good job staying calm. One of them even fixed the wobbly leg on a table she'd been complaining about for weeks. And when they finally left, they didn't roar out of the parking lot like they usually did. They left quietly, headlights cutting through the rain, their presence lingering like a promise that she wasn't alone anymore. The next morning, Emily came in early. Something about the night before had changed her. For months, she'd felt invisible, like the world wouldn't notice if she disappeared. But last night, strangers who were feared by many had shown her what real strength looked like, the strength to protect, not to harm. Word spread fast in town. People who'd once whispered about the dangerous biker gang now spoke with respect. Someone even told Emily that Bear and his crew donated toys to the local children's hospital every Christmas, though they never took credit for it. Emily decided to pay it forward. She started a small safe space jar at the bar, collecting donations to help women in town who worked late shifts or faced abuse. The first $100 bill inside was the same one Bear had left her. Weeks later, on a quiet Friday night, the door opened again, and there they were. The same group of bikers, leather jackets soaked from the rain. Emily's heart raced, but this time it wasn't fear. Bear spotted the jar on the counter and smiled faintly when he saw the note attached, "For those who think no one will save them." He nodded once approvingly and slipped another bill inside before taking his usual seat. From that night on, the bar changed. It wasn't just a place for beer and laughter anymore. It became a symbol of protection, of quiet brotherhood, of strangers who refused to look away when someone was in trouble. Emily often thought about that one awful moment when she'd felt powerless, and how it had become the turning point of her life. She realized that heroes don't always wear uniforms or capes. Sometimes they wear leather vests and carry the scars of battles no one knows about. And every time she saw a biker ride past her window, she smiled softly, whispering, "Thank you." Because sometimes, the people the world fears most are the ones still keeping it safe. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. It helps us keep spreading real stories about courage, kindness, and second chances. Special request, before you scroll, drop a comment. Kindness is stronger than fear. Let's fill the comments with hope and humanity.